Alright guys, we're going to show you how to replace the stainless steel screws that are holding the GPS board inside of the GPS mount. We've got this one off of the unit, but you can do it while it's still on the Alta. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the cover from the SD card. And then using an 050 wrench, remove these 4 fasteners that hold the carbon plate in. So the carbon plate is siliconed all the way along the edge. It's going to be very difficult to remove. The best way to remove it is to insert a tool into the hole that the cable is coming out of and pry the plate up and off the metal mount. What we need to avoid doing is we do not want to pry and leverage against the case. We don't want to damage this wire or go too far in and damage this wire. So I'm going to slide this in about this far and then pull the screwdriver towards me. And then using even pressure, pulling up against the carbon, the silicone will start to break free. And then you can peel the rest of the carbon plate back. The screws that we're replacing are going to be these 4 screws that are holding the board in. We want to replace each one at a time, so I'm going to remove one screw, apply Loctite to the new screw, put the new screw into place, and then move on to the next. Apply a very small amount of Loctite to the threads of the screw. Just enough so it's just on the threads, not a big drip that's coming off of the screw. After all 4 of these screws are tight, I'm going to reapply the silicone along the edge of this case, around the perimeter, and then reattach the carbon plate. If you have an excess of silicone, anything that's loose will clean off first. You can use a microfiber towel or just scrape most of it off with your finger. It's pretty pliable, so it should come off pretty easily. So you'll want to go through, scrape off any of the loose, reapply the silicone. With the syringe, just start on an edge and work the silicone along the case. Go back over where the wire and the screwdriver came through. Add just a little bit of a dab right there to kind of fill that hole back in, and then continue around the perimeter of the case. as you do this, it's most important to get the silicone on the ledge area here, not as much on the surface of the case, because the carbon plate is going to sit down on this ledge. So with the cleaned carbon plate, when you reinsert it, you'll get some silicone that comes up off the edge. You can tighten your screws back down and then wipe off the excess with a lint-free cloth. So now if you have silicone that comes up through the gaps, you can wipe this free and clear with lint-free cloth, microfiber towel, a little bit of alcohol. If you're having a lot of glue and you need a little bit of extra time, you can let it sit for about 10 minutes and then come back through and clean it, and it'll be a lot easier to clean off. The small amounts of residue is super easy to clean. Larger amounts of residue will be a little bit more difficult to clean. So after the unit's cleaned, you can reapply your rubber SD slot cover. And the unit's ready to go back into service.